2 years for me in the business. It'll be 2 years in April. And when I first started, I'd been that girl that hosted all the parties for a really long time. And my friend Monica was like, you need to give me that discount. So she signed me up. After about 2 years of poking and prodding, and she was finally able to bring me on. And I was probably the kidnapper. I never really thought that I could do this, or that I could stand up in front of people and talk at parties and things of that nature. So my launch party, which she really pushed me to do, I was scared to death, and that was a really big party for me. Well, after that, I was addicted, and I had to do it. At that point, I was like, well, this is fun. And I still get nervous right before the party. I still get that little adrenaline rush, and I enjoyed doing it. A lot has changed since I started. In May of 2015, my husband lost his job. So things changed for us drastically. And that's just a prime example for everybody. As long as you're in this business, your why will change. The direction of your business will turn. It has been so many changes that I went through, and probably some of you who have been in the business even more than 6 months can say the same for yourself, because it's constantly changing and it's constantly becoming something different. For me, when I started, like I said, I had that first big launch party, and I thought, they're all going to be like this. I want them all to be like this. And it doesn't necessarily happen that way. But I found that I was going into the party and I was reaching for, the 15 plus people and the $1,200 in party sales and all of these things. And what I was missing was the connection with them. And it didn't take me long to figure out that, I was going to do better parties. I was going to be able to make lasting connections if, I shortened some things up and I've done some things different. And that's really what what the call is about tonight, is making connections that are long lasting. When I first started out, I mailed everything because I didn't know any better. I mailed a lot of stuff. I mailed orders out when they came in. I mailed hostess packets out. And I went back to going hand delivering things. So hostess packets, unless they live a good ways away, I'm talking like an hour and a half or more, I deliver, because I'm always out and about on the weekends, and I hand deliver that hostess packet. So that very first time that we're getting together, let's say somebody refers her, it's one-on-one with her, which makes it easier for me because I get to read her body language. I get to see, her face and find out from her who she's most excited about coming to the party, which friends she is most excited about being there, who's been to a party before, things of that nature. So that first contact that I make is normally face-to-face. Like I say, if she's, out of state or something in the North Carolina area, because I'm pretty close to there, I'll mail stuff out. But even when the orders come in, everything's hand delivered unless they're a good ways out of state. My demo when I started out was super long. Like it was, probably an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 30 minutes, because I wanted to show everything. So as I got going in my business, I decided, okay, I'm going to take less time with the demo and more time with women at parties. And when I shortened the demo and used that time in the shopping room or in the order room, what have you, I found that, I was really making better connections and getting the info that I needed. Something that I do, it's just a little trick that I like, is my connection cards. I'm still using them. I love them. I don't always do as I should with them, but whenever I meet with somebody in the shopping room, we're talking, we're getting to know each other. I write down little things. As soon as she leaves, out of the shopping room, I'm writing down little information about her, just so I can remember who she is and have that personalized piece. Because a lot of times you get home the night of the party, you put your orders in, and the girl that you met, you've got the name, you've got the number, but you can't really put the info with a face. So I try to write down those little bits and pieces so I can pull that out the next day. And I use those customer connection cards like they're gold to me. And I go back, not as often as I should, but I'm still working on my follow-up process. Let's see. Ooh. Sorry, guys.
You're good.
So in the order room, I am asking questions of her, and it makes it easier when we're getting to know each other. I can pass on a hostess packet then, but normally I don't. I prefer to meet her later on, especially if her party is, a month or more out. A little trick that I learned from Dolly, and I'm using that as well, the thank you card, getting everybody to sign just a little thank you. I haven't started putting the checks in. She does a little thing with hers where she puts a check in. If you were the host, if you were the consultant for this party, you would have made XYZ dollars with her. But she does a thing where you do sorry guys, where she does a little thank you note, and all the girls fill out something on that thank you note. And she sends it to her several days after the party. So I've been doing that with good results, and the girls, are texting me back, thank you so much, when they get the thank you note. So I've just started that probably about the month before last. So I haven't seen a lot of results with it yet, but the girls like doing it, and they like leaving that little something for the hostess that's doing the party. As far as connections, like at networking events, I know a lot of you guys pick up bridal shows and different things like that. My best advice on doing those is don't be packing up early. I stay till the very end, and I link up with any consultant that I can. The Mary Kay lady, the 31 girl, and there's been several times that after those events are over, we get together and we go out for coffee, or we go out and get dinner, depending on, what time the event takes place. And that was really helpful to me in the beginning because I got to work with other women that were small business owners, and we met and kind of linked up. So you never know. I tell you, some of the best girls I've ever met have worked, with other companies, and, we've linked up and been able to, share information. And not only that, that's your kind of ear to the ground. If you're short on parties and, somebody calls you and says, hey, there's a vendor event, that's a good way to meet new people, meet people outside of your circle, and, be able to get with those ladies again. So there's some people that I met when I first started in the business that I still link up with, usually every couple of months. If not for a vendor event, we get together and have dinner together or something like that. So that was one thing I learned early on is never pack up early, and we always kind of get together and exchange information and things like that. So even at vendor events, you can make those lasting connections. It doesn't mean that those ladies are going to be your Pure Romance clients in the future. It may be that, they're just telling you about events coming up or things like that. And it's a good way to get out of your inner circle. As far as my past hostesses, I get a lot of invites to birthday parties and things like that. And even if I'm not able to come to that, I like to send a card or a little something. Usually whenever I see like a little announcement on Facebook, if she's a past hostess and she puts an announcement up that she's pregnant, or she just got a promotion or something like that, I'll always go in, and even before I like the status, I'll go ahead and make a little card and just throw it in the mail, because mail is better than Facebook likes, I feel. I do send a lot of mail. I like to make my initial connections with girls face to face. But I like sending little cards and letters and stuff. So I do that a lot, even with girls that are potential recruit leads and things like that. I like to do the little, I can't remember who posted them, but they're on the Pink Lady page, like the little extra chewing gum, like the extra income thing. But I love sending mail. And you can count it off on, count your postage off on your taxes later on. But that means a lot to people if you're recognizing things that are going on in their life. And I like to do that because it's something to celebrate. If they just got engaged, if they just found out they're having their first child or something like that, I like to send a little card or something. And it doesn't always have to be about business. I mean, it's just a way of saying congratulations. And I like to keep in touch with them that way. I'm on Facebook a lot, but I don't use Facebook a lot for business, just because I would prefer to get that face-to-face or that telephone time. But like I say, I prefer the face-to-face better. And it gives me an idea, like if I can't get in touch with her to drop off a hostess pack, it gives me an idea of if she's going to be willing to host the party in the future or not. Let's see. But that's one of the things I really tried to make a goal this year, and it's actually on my goal board, is the connection piece, to make sure that I'm reaching out, I'm doing my follow-up and those things, because that's something that I struggled with in the beginning. That's something I still struggle with now. I work an 8 to 5 job as a nurse, and there's days where I feel like everybody in the world has sucked my energy dry, but you still want to go out and you still want to reach out to those girls that you're going to be doing parties with, and doing the hostess coaching. It's so important. I think that's all I got, you guys. Sorry, I'm so nervous.
I'm muted. You're good. So does anybody have any questions about business or about making connections or about anything in general for Tabitha?
I have a quick question. I think that besides some close friends, I'm having a lot of trouble deciding who to reach out to book parties. I reached out to a few of my mom's friends and things like that, and there are just some people that have been completely unreceptive, like, no thanks, I don't do parties like that, and I don't think they really understand what pure romance is, but at the same time, it's really difficult. Especially, I'm only 20, so I don't really have a very large group of connections that I can reach out to. So I have a few people that would probably be repeat buyers, repeat hostesses, but never really interested in becoming a consultant. So I don't really know how to make those connections besides handing out a little goodie bag with a business card in it and things like that.
I handed out a lot of, I don't so much now. I handed out a lot of goodie bags with little samples and my business card in them in the beginning, but I found what I was doing, because I'm talking about making connections, and I'm great one-on-one with somebody, but like if I'm in a crowd of people, and that's one of the reasons I had to shut that demo down. But I found myself, just sticking around and chatting too long. Yeah. And, you can do that, but what I done was reached out to the lady that does my nails. I told her about it. Just, try to reach 3 people every day, 3 strangers that you haven't met. And you'd be surprised the people that we come in contact with. Just a compliment to a stranger, and start a conversation that way. But yeah, I reached out to people that I normally wouldn't. I didn't in the first month because, like I said, my first party, my friend Monica practically had to beg me to do it because I was like, I'm not even, I don't even think I can do this. But as I got started, you know, I reached out to the lady that does my hair, the lady that does my nails. And, you know, I asked them, can I leave business cards with you guys? And they kind of spread the word. But really where it started is I book parties at parties, and I always use a booking game.
Okay.
Can I kind of piggyback on what Tabitha just said real quick?
Sure.
One, make sure you're asking everybody. Like Tabitha said, don't judge, you know, like, oh, I don't think they would like it. Ask everybody. If they're a lady and they're 18 or older, ask them. Because what's the worst they can say? No. And then you just say, okay. And what I've started doing is I do referrals now. So, like, if they tell me no, and I'm like, oh, well, do you think you have any friends that might want to? If you send them my way, I'll give you whatever. Usually it's like a free bottle of coochie or something like that. I mean, it's only got me about 5 parties so far, but 5 parties is better than no parties.
Right.
And they're super excited to get something for free, so they're going to keep referring people to you. Even if it's not for a party, they're going to remember you, they're going to remember your name, and they're going to be like, oh, she told me if I send her people, she would give me free stuff. So just because they don't want to do a party doesn't mean that they're not necessarily still willing to help you promote your business. So start thinking of something like that you'd be comfortable with as like a referral bonus. And, you know, when people tell you no, tell them that. Or you can post it on Facebook. Like, hey, ladies, tag a friend here that might book a party. If they book, you both get a gift. Whatever. It's been pretty successful for me, so you should give it a shot.
Okay, thanks.